Weekly update for Friday, November 24th. And happy Black Friday to everybody around the world snatching up their deals. And speaking of snatching up their deals, thank you very much for all the generosity of the Cerebus fans who have been buying the Cerebus Archive number 7 portfolios and pledging for Christmas cards. As the Kickstarter for Cerebus Archive number 7 proceeds merrily along. We're just past the 2/3 mark, and again, just absolutely overwhelmed with the generosity of everyone pledging and getting in on those crazy day deals when those were going on. So about 10 more days left to go. The campaign ends December 2nd, and we're still hoping to get most, if not all, of the material out to the pledge partners in time for Christmas. That's going to depend a lot on how quickly we get the surveys back from people, and it will be a first come, first served situation. 5 days before the end of the campaign, Alfonso at Studio Comics Press, looking at the numbers, will be deciding whether we're going to need 250 portfolios or 300 portfolios. But we do promise that whatever number it turns out to be, we're not going to be under printing on the Cerebus Archive portfolios. Everybody who pledges to get one will get one. We promise. Most of my week was taken up this week, as it was the week before and the week before that, working on You Don't Know Jack, trying to figure out just how much drawing and lettering my hand is going to take. It seems to be in pretty good shape, but I'm definitely getting a lot slower, and the more that I have to focus on keeping the hand steady when the hand is just not into being steady these days, the more I become aware of how slow I've become, and how much of the heavy lifting Carson Grubaugh is going to be doing on You Don't Know Jack and on The Strange Death of Alex Raymond. Really, You Don't Know Jack on a creative side is finding out what those parameters are, how much drawing I can do. I would say at this point a lot less drawing than I was hoping I would be able to do, and figuring out what drawing it is that I'm going to be doing, and trying to supplement Carson's work and trying to get our two styles meshed so that these projects, You Don't Know Jack and Strange Death of Alex Raymond, can be as close as possible to the Alex Raymond, Al Williamson style that I really think of as being the absolute top of the comic art Mount Everest. Talk about mixing up your comic art metaphysics. 3 o'clock in the morning, working at doing what I consider state-of-the-art Al Williamson, Alex Raymond, and feeling like you're living in a Will Eisner strip. Anyway, a good few hours of lettering in my Will Eisner spotlight, and it was for the title lettering for the story Jack's Prayer, featuring Satan from Cerebus in Hell. And this is what it looks like, pasted up, size as. Just reduced the lettering on the photocopier and did some retouching on Carson's version of Cthulhu, and you can see the featuring Satan lettering at the bottom. Again, 250% reduced down to 40%. And this was an interesting experience. This is Jack's Aunt Sadie, who we've made up, but who is our expert on trigger warnings on You Don't Know Jack. The trigger warning is based on the pounds per square inch that Aunt Sadie exerts on clutching her pearls. Well, I never in all my born days. And I just left it up to Carson to come up with his own Aunt Sadie, and I think he did a commendable Aunt Sadie. Very, very Williamson looking. And so it was an interesting experience to take Carson's Aunt Sadie and do my own Aunt Sadie panel as part of the storyline Teach the Children. And this is Aunt Sadie demanding that a police officer arrest me. What she wants me arrested for, you'll just have to buy You Don't Know Jack #1 to find that out. But this was an interesting experience to come up with a character and get somebody else to draw that character, and then draw that character based on that person's drawing. Never had that happen before. Apart from that, this will be my last chance, the Friday before the last Wednesday of the month, to remind you to go to your local comic book store on Wednesday the 29th and get your copy of The Death of Cerebus in Hell #1. And you know what that means? It's time for Sean Robinson's Earworm. Hit it, Sean.
On the last Wednesday of every month, the new Cerebus in Hell #1.
Okay, don't want any of you missing The Death of Cerebus in Hell #1. November 29th at your local comic book store. And hope we'll see a bunch of you next week for the weekly update for December 1st.